some kits and some builds I've done. Cause model building is supposed to be fun. So push play and away we go. It's time for the Glue Bomb Show. Yeah, it's time for the Glue Bomb Show. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Hey everybody, Dave Weiss here for the Glue Bomb Show. Today I've got a review for you on this kit. This is the Polar Lights 1/25th scale Undertaker Dragster. Carl Casper design, Carl Casper being one of the great designers of the 60s. And I wanted to build this as part of the Psychedelic 60s group build by the 60s Rule channel on YouTube. And I was getting ready to do it, and I thought I was ready, and I started to build it, and I got pretty far in the build, and then I realized I never submitted my preview video. And so I contacted the guy over there, and I just said, hey, can I still submit? And he welcomed me into it, and I'm really happy about that. But I wanted to share with you how it came out and give you a little bit of a few tips on it. And I think his name's Dan, if I remember right. If not, forgive me, Dan. He did this kit too, and he did a much nicer job than I did, but he had some of the same complaints. So I'm going to start off by talking about some of the nice stuff. I love this base. They gave us a base that they would have used similar in a car show. It has two standing figures on it. It's got the Ghost, and it's got the Undertaker. Now, to me, the Ghost looked more like the Grim Reaper, but I decided to do him as a ghost because that's what it said on the instructions, so that's how I painted him. And the Undertaker, I think, looks a little bit like Dracula, okay? But I put this thing together, and I have to be honest with you, this was not one of Polar Lights' greater works. And it may have something to do with the fact that it's a really old kit, okay? This kit came out originally in the 60s, and there were a lot of things on there that I really scratched my head over. I think Dan did as well. I watched his video on this, and for starters, everything you see here, except the tires, the base, and the body, is chrome. The engine block is chrome. The frame is chrome in many pieces, by the way. It's a lot of chrome parts. And if you know anything about chrome parts are really hard to stick together. You need to sand the connection points and things like that. And this frame is many pieces, like I said, and it's really quite hard to get it all to line up. I am so pleased that I finally have all four tires on the ground on this base. That took some work. I am not a big fan of all chrome, especially when you're looking at engine block, blower, the whole thing. Everything but this little blower scoop on here was chrome. And it made it pretty difficult. And if it looks great from here, I don't recommend you looking at it like this because you'll see a lot of flaws. Overall, it's going to look nice on my shelf. But this was not an easy kit, nor was it fun. I'm going to well, I shouldn't say that. I did have some fun with it. The one thing I will say is this. I usually, on the Glue Bomb Show, I use stuff you can get at Hobby Lobby. I try to use basic tools so that the basic builder can build these things, and I try to talk to them from that respect. On this one, there's a glue called B7000. It's a jewelry glue. And I use that almost extensively on this kit, especially on everything that was chrome. I do scrape chrome. I try to make all the chrome scrape so that it connects with glue. However, and you do need to do that. However, with this one, there were so many little contact points and everything else that I felt like I needed a more high-test, heavy-duty glue. And so I used the B7000, and it did hold it together pretty well. It's sticking together pretty well. I would recommend that you don't build this if you don't have a glue like that, because I think you'll be frustrated, and I think your pieces will be falling apart. As I look in this, there are a couple pieces that did fall for me even so, but overall, I am really pretty happy with the way it looks, the way it will look on my shelf. They also included this little sign. If you take it to a car show, there would be a little sign, and they had this bat and a tombstone that had the Undertaker on it. Now, the bat, the way they had it designed, the bat's just supposed to lay on this thing. And I thought, well, that's not going to look right. So I took it and I did a little surgery down here to sink his tail in a little bit and then glued his wing to the tombstone so it looks like he's standing up more or less. I hate to put a kit down, and so I'm not going to. I'm going to say that I ended up having a pretty successful result with it. However, this one wasn't always fun. There were a lot of times where I was getting frustrated because I'd put one part on and break another piece off because it just was not, there was too much chrome. So, Dan over at 60s Rule actually was advised to strip the whole frame, strip all the parts, glue it together as bare plastic, and then use some chrome paint to paint it, and his came out beautifully. Like I say, mine looks good from a distance, but it's definitely not a 3-inch model. You definitely don't want to look 3 inches because you'll see all kinds of stuff. So, what's the recommendation? Build it if you have some patience and some good glue. Strip the chrome. If you're somebody who knows how to strip the chrome and make that work, strip the chrome, glue all those chrome pieces together, and then chrome it over, right? Because I know show rods have a lot of chrome, usually. That's a thing. But you got to be careful with this one. There's a lot of stuff that can get messed up. So, build it, but don't build it if you're a rookie. And if you're not a rookie, you're going to take some time on it, or else you'll end up with a mess. Mine looks okay from a distance. Up close, there's a couple places where it's a mess. So, that's why I call this the Glue Bomb Show, right? They don't always, I'm managing expectations with that name. They don't always come out great, but model building's supposed to be fun. And for the most part, if you don't take yourself too seriously, you can have some fun. You can have some fun with this kit. You really can. But it's going to take you a bit. All right. That's what I have for you for today. Take care, and remember, model building's supposed to be fun. By the way, I'm flat coating this base. I just didn't get to that yet. All right, take care.
We'll check out some kits and some builds I've done, 'cause model building is supposed to be fun. So push play. For the Glue Bomb Show. Let's go!